Okay, today we have a supercut of our Kamen Rider Builds 3-part series, all edited into a seamless watch for you. As stated before, this is the last supercut before we get to our regularly scheduled program, as we have took the time to make sure our content in the future is the best it can be for you. So I hope you enjoy this. Getting into Kamen Rider, I think this or our playlist is a good starting point, so you can watch the videos as intended. But with that,
let's just jump into it.
So we start this off with an astronaut finding Pandora's box. Yes, that Pandora's box on Mars, and brings it down to Earth. With that string of words I just muttered, nothing could go wrong. Yeah, something's about to go wrong. As in the midst of them celebrating this find, a man runs over and opens Pandora's box. Literally the one thing you're not supposed to do with it. And with it brings segregation to Japan by a Great Wall breaking Japan into 3 districts. But we'll touch on that a little later. Right now, let me introduce you to our protagonist of the show, Kiryu. He's a man living in the secret laboratory of a coffee shop. He's the Kamen Rider we'll be following through this story, and he happens to have amnesia. I don't know how you forget the last 20 years of your life, but you still remember to be a science genius, but we're gonna roll with it. But the only thing he can really remember besides being a genius is that he was experimented on, which looks to be Weapon X run by Batman. But yes, Kiryu is at this coffee shop with this man and his adoptive daughter, and for the most part, he's a good comic relief character. He's pretty cool, I like him, and he treats our boy pretty well. And if you're wondering why my boy Kiryu is so excited right now, that's just because he just got a brand new toy. Well, it's a little more than a toy. It's actually the gimmick of this show, which I'll explain in a little bit later, as these are the things that are going to help our boy turn into a Kamen Rider. But he can also use them as like Capsule Corp technology from Dragon Ball Z, using it to just spawn in a bite. So our boy hits the commute to work, but on his way there, he runs into the ex-MMA fighter known as Banjo. Banjo? Like Kazooie? Oh, please don't flame me in the comments, please. But he was framed from a murder of this man whose name I'm not going to try to say right now, and is on the run from the Batman and the people that were experimenting on him and our main character. So they have a little bit of a conversation and a misunderstanding, but in the midst of them talking, Marvel Rivals just dropped a new skin for the Thing. Oh, and it's clobbering time. These monsters of the week are known as Smash and... Y'all chill. That's just the name of the monsters. I know your boy got some crazy taste, but I got some standards here. Now with that out of the way, my boy just got flat. Oh yeah, this Smash was not playing around. It was trying to get to the business. And salute to my boy Banjo. He was really trying his best to fight back. He gave it a little meek. About broke his hands on that thing. But after getting dusted by this monster, it was time for our boy Kiryu to step up. And boy, I didn't even peep. My boy had the mismatched Converse on. Ooh, my boy looking smooth with it. And he hits us with one of the smoothest transformations I done ever seen. Boy even got his own announcer for shit. I don't even gotta say nothing. Oh yeah, that's hot. Yes, Kamen Rider Bill, baby, he looking clean. But this is a good moment for me to take a pause and explain the gimmick of this series to you. So our boy takes a little bit of Sprite and a little bit of Coke. Oh snap, that's the wrong script. God damn. Oh, here it is. So our boy gets 2 different capsules and fuses them together. Each capsule has its own bit of basis and element that it pertains. And our boy's always looking for the best match. So in this case, his most common one that he uses is his rabbit fused with a tank. I don't know why that's a perfect match. I'm just going with it because my boy looked fire. But he was straight down the bin and he done hopped over a man and pulled out the utensil. And I gotta say, having the science tubes come up when he summons something, it's just a nice touch. But he go ahead and hit the man with the mink. And decides it's time to shake things up. You see what I did there? And switches out his rabbit capsule with the hedgehog. And I don't know why my dumb thought my boy was about to go supersonic on a man, knowing damn well hedgehogs in real life are slow as hell. But switching out the capsules lets my man acquire some spikes, and he gives this villain a little slap. But our boy knew that time for fun was over, and in a move that would impress Dr. Stone himself, our man goes underground, summons a literal white energy chart graph thing, and my boy jumps back out and gives him a straight kick to the chest with his vortex finisher. But some people show up to come and rest our boy Banjo, and our boy Bill has to make the decision, and that boy barely hesitated for a second and said, F it, we becoming fugitives together. This is all the first episode and I'm already enjoying this series. I do want to say a couple things, however. If you're enjoying this, make sure you like and subscribe. I won't be able to cover every single fight that I really want to in this video. I'll have to probably put them in their own solo video or one of our compilation ones. But with all that being said, there are some spoilers ahead. So if you don't want to be spoiled, you can tune out now. I'll understand. I'm going to be covering up to episode 14. So if you don't want to be spoiled, go watch the first 14 episodes. Come on back. Kamen Rider! So with that out of the way, Banjo is part of the team and we find out a few things about him. One fun fact, he was framed for murder. Isn't that fun? He's framed for murdering Katsuragi, even though our guy happened just to walk in on a dead body. Not sure if it was even really him. This will be important later. And we find out that our boy has a girlfriend who instantly gets turned into a smash. And in the midst of trying to reunite with her, ends up having to turn her into a pack. And I mean that literally. There was no way to save her, so they had to turn her into a capsule toy. We also end up finding how he ended up in the Batman's program when he got drugged by a bald-headed cop that took him there. So they knew that was probably their best lead to find out about this shady organization. Only thing is that he was in another district and they would have to travel by boat to get there. Luckily, the news reporter that our boy saved from earlier was able to help them out on this one. Unluckily for them, this man also has amnesia.
It's an epidemic, homie.
This man doesn't even remember his own family and child. But because they brought him to the HQ, something in the corner sparked his interest and reminded him of something. A panel that they had in their lab was actually the same exact panels that they used during those experiments, which is mad weird. Why will an evil organization's panels be in a coffee shop laboratory? And oh no. So while my man was making some home renovations, the owner himself came down and he had some explaining to do. And this man's comeback on being questioned on his loyalty is hilarious, as all he says is, "Can a villain look as stylish and dashing as me?" And hey, who could argue with a man like that? But he does confess that he actually did work for Faust, as well saying that he is the astronaut that found Pandora's box and brought it back to Earth, and as well is the same guy that opened Pandora's box and brought up segregation in the giant walls. And my man's only excuse for this is, "Bro, I ain't gonna lie, Mars fucked me up." Like, dang, my boy was acting like he was playing Doom or something up there. And they just left it at that. I'd feel like you would probably press that a little more, but who am I? This guy is charming. He couldn't hurt a fly, right? But they end up getting sidetracked because they do find someone who actually knows who our boy Kiryu is. As he explains, our boy used to be the lead singer of their band. Dang, talk about wasted potential. How this man go from a wannabe musician to a dang physicist? But before they could learn any more, the big bad himself had appeared. That being Bloodstock. And this boy look freaking menacing, my boy. He got the drip on for days. Nah, it's bad when they're attacking this guy's style and charm. You cook, you donezo. Even worse, this man is equipped with a blicky, which he unloads on our boy. But our boy believed that he could fly and knock man down a peg. And once he had him on the ground, he was gonna show him he not gonna take this show from him. They get the swinging and Shotty start taking pictures of that action. Was gonna sell this to Jonah Jameson for sure. Boy even whipped out the drill sword ready to pierce the heavens with it. Had that thing sliding down on man's blaster, had it scratching up the finish. Oh, but Bloodstock gotta be a jujutsu sorcerer because he hit my man square in the gut with a black flash. Had my boy rolling across the pavement. My boy was rethinking the whole fight now. He was like, nah, we gotta end this quick. This boy is taking up the spotlight from me. So he whipped out his signature move, summoned that graph table, and boy, something is amiss. Bloodstock ain't moving. He just chilling, and he does what every OP antagonist does to show them what they really about. And when my man came down for his vortex finish, this man Bloodstock caught that shit. Oh, nah, Builds run, he is him. And just that insult, that injury, my man said, "Nice kick, kid." Bruh, man, swear he Piccolo. And he tell our boy he not ready for the hands yet and just walks away. And boy, something like that can set a man's ego straight. He know that he gotta level up and do better. Our man was already struggling with Batman. How the heck he gonna handle him and Bloodstock? So quick montage for you. Our boy ends up getting a couple new forms. One of them I really like. It's like a manga themed one. And he even has a new sword and it has like panels on it. He's even able to do a shadow clone jutsu. It's pretty fire. And And bro, even adding the detail of an ink pen on the visor, nice. We find out the doctor that our guys are framed for murdering actually made the fuse system that our Kamen Rider uses. Our boy Banjo ends up getting a little pet dragon and fails to transform into a Kamen Rider multiple times. But one in particular fight happens that I need to talk about that had me hype as hell. As Bills was getting jumped by Batman and a Smash and ends up getting defeated, but then our boy Banjo done stepped in the scene and said, hey, pass me my dead girlfriend, bro. And boy, I was locked in. As 11 episodes of build-up has brought us to this moment for my boy to get his shine and transform for the first time into Kamen Rider Cross Dragon. Oh yeah, I'm hype as heck. Yeah, the Z might be silent, but these hands are about to get to talking, which they do as my man done round up the Jack in the Box and summon his animality and hit the smash with a dynamic kick to the chest, one-shotting the monster that was giving Bilge trouble. Even the Batman was confused. He like, yo, this man might be a little different. I'm just saying, my boy was looking good in the fit. He knew he was looking good. Now with that small fry out the way, it was time to give the Batman the hands. Boy slides in, dodges laser rounds, point blank, gave him the bob and weave, starts chopping dude down. Oh boy was too quick for the Batman. Oh, and Batsy over here didn't know my boy Cross came equipped with the Bop It sword. It said, pull it, bump it, smash it. And that it did. As soon as it hit that man's chest, it had him flying back with a multi-hit Hadouken. You could just hear the chip damage. But as soon as that Bop It said, twist it was GG's for Manny. He had a dip up out of there. They do reveal who the Batman is. I don't feel like I need to spoil that right now for you for this video. But as we get into this last section, I'm gonna have to spoil something. If you are enjoying what you're seeing so far, of course, like and subscribe. You know your boy on the way to 50K. But as well, if you're planning to watch some Kamen Rider builds, stop the video now, because I will be spoiling some of the major plot points so we can get into this final episode. That being on who Bloodstock is and some revealing evidence on who our protagonist is. So we get hit with a big revelation that our main character is actually that genius physicist and not the guy from the rock band, and that he was actually trying to leave Faust, but Bloodstock didn't really like that idea. So he knocked him out and killed the delivery boy and face swapped him. So he has the face of this one dude, but he is truly this guy all along. And Bloodstock went and framed the murder on Banjo. And this type of revelation destroys my man, kind of puts him in a weird daze of like, who am I? Identity crisis kind of situation. It really gets deep. And all this leads us to wonder what kind of sick, twisted individual would do such a thing. So our man went to seek out those answers, and while he was chasing a man that he knew to be a suspect in all of this, he finds out that it is the shop owner himself. He's a rookie. He was behind all of this, and to make it worse, he reveals that he is Bloodstock, and he honestly wipes the floor with my man. I ain't gonna lie to you. Boy was hitting the ground crying like it's not fair. And this really puts a toll on the team as a whole, as this man was everyone's mentor. He was the person that was always there and pushing them to do better. So to find out that he's this evil mastermind is a big shot to the viewer and to them. But our boy Ryu decides he not gonna let this type of disrespect slide, and he meets up with this man to run the ones for real. So on a rainy day, these boys have a standoff, and our boy just asked him straight up, was you pretending the whole time? Was any of it real? And bro, this was giving me flashbacks of the CW Flash show. Cause man just said straight up, I wasn't lying all the time. Sometimes y'all little kids impressed me. There was even a few times I even felt bad tricking you. And boy, that is all Kiryu had to hear to say, F it, we throwing down now. It's time to shake and bake, baby. Oh, and Bloodstock didn't even hesitate. He pulled out the Beyblade launcher because he was ready to let it rip. Boy, you can cut the tension with a knife. You can even hear the transformation over the rain. They stand in there 1 second and instantly punch a freaking sound wave through the rain. Like my man might be a little under leveled right now, but you could tell he was still kind of letting the anger get to him because boy was kind of saucing him just a little bit. Done snuck in another black flash to my man's chest. Was about to have that series end early before my boy pulled the drill out on him and got a good couple licks in. But man, my boy started having flashbacks to all the good times they had, really thinking that they was actually friends, just to know that this man didn't give a damn. He was getting so caught up in the memories of them being a family that Bloodstock could have good couple licks and even emptied the mag out on boy. He was truly distraught, saying that he couldn't beat him. He couldn't bring himself to want to destroy a person that he pretty much looks like as a father figure. I ain't gonna lie, this scene kind of brought me to some tears. It was getting super emotional for the boy. And Bloodstock knew this, and he was gonna take advantage of this to finally put an end to our man. That was until
That's what I'm talking about. This shit means something to me, man.
oh yeah, my boy about to go crazy. Boy, our boy Banjo is no stranger to throwing hands. He said, hey, if you can't do it, I'll do it for you, Brody. Boy came in with a kick, hit him with a bah, 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 bah. Was about to put an end to man's reign right here until this man put the strap to my boy chest and let go of the trigger. Dang, that thing gotta have some kick in it. One shot had my boy de-transforming. But this act from Cross Dragon was just enough to give our boy the backbone to stand up for himself and face this father figure head on. As my boy had something just for the occasion as he pulls out the bubbly.
Want a Sprite cranberry?
And we get to witness one of the coolest transformations thus far, that being my boy's rabbit tank sparkling form. And bro, this fit is fire. I'm talking, they got the red and blue that he had before, but then it got the white accents on top of it. Boy, and to top it all off, every time my man moves, it make color-coded bubbles. So he does a slide kick straight to man's chest cavity, and Bloodstock realized he in trouble. He tried to throw some hands out just to get them things paid. But my boy Build was about to show him that he built different. And about to take boy to a future music video set. Hit him with the bubbly kick, the double cup punch, and that purple drink stomp. But this man Bloodstock gotta be repping slime season cause he done shot the cobras out on man. But ain't realized my boy Build got that Mamba mentality and made quick work of these constructs. And bro, if you thought his vortex finish was fire, his sparkling finish is even fire. Bro, that thing is so strong it had Bloodstock over here punching bubble. And even though he was beating this battle, he is not out of the game just yet. It says that they can hold on to the box. He can get it back when he wants, but he'll be seeing them soon and they should watch out. From last time, our main group of good guys is still reeling from the loss of their mentor, finding out that he was actually Bloodstock, the major villain of the show. And Builds has an identity crisis as he has the face of one dude, but he's actually a whole nother one. And as well, the boys have to actually work together with Gentoku, who I didn't mention in the last video, was actually the Batman Kamen Rider, as he reveals to us that the bottles and capsules that our Kamen Riders are using to transform and people are transforming to smashes with, and whoever collects them all has the power of Pandora's box. And they don't get much time to process this as Hokuto and Touto are going in full out war. And oh no, when Japan wanna bust out the CGI mechs, you know things are getting serious. And I will preface this now, this arc is all about jumping. Enter the new adversaries for this arc, the Hokuto Trio. And they're pretty much the Three Stooges until they turn into Smashes. But something's different as these guys actually, while in Smash form, have their self-awareness and still sense of self. Yeah, these guys are a new breed of enemy and they're named after what I would say if I ever saw Storm in real life, a hard smash. But this makes them a threat compared to anything else our boys have faced before. Oh, you know my boy Banjo talking his ish like, nah, you think I'm scared of you, you idiot? Until the tall one came over and bonked him. Oh, and Banjo like, all right, bet that you about to see what a real Kamen Rider can do. And he hopped in with the MMA moves on man and he was doing all right. But like I said earlier, this season all about jumping. As the rest of the trio wants a little bit of this action. And they start swarming the boy and Bill's like, nah, I ain't about to let my man get jumped like that. And he like, let's get this shaking and baking, boy. And I ain't gonna lie, our two Kamen Riders were getting their ish pushed in, literally. Done knocked Banjo out of his form and decide to do a Genuis Force style synchronized attack on Bill. Bro, this is the start of the new arc and they got our boys looking like this. And the only reason they made it out of this is the Three Stooges were arguing on who's gonna get the bottles from them. And this is where our boys have the realization that they really do need to step their game up. And bro, just that insult to injury, Banjo was just out here walking around and sees the first smash that gave him a butt whooping in the first episode, and some random guy just one punched it. Now they try to act like my man Banjo a bozo. That's crazy. Bro, even the trio not even taking Build seriously, because while he out and about, they decided to jump this man again. You know, my boy busted out the sparkling form, really trying to put the their hands on him, but they was really giving the works. I ain't gonna lie. Boy, the red, white, and blue really had him thinking he was Steve Rogers, like, yo, I could do this all day. But anytime my boy needs saving, you know who's there when you need him. Oh yeah, it's Banjo, baby. Oh, and they done turn his dead girlfriend's bottle into some jelly, and my boy was about to show us some heat. Oh no, they did it. They somehow made this man's Kamen Rider suit somehow even cooler. Who they got cooking in the kitchen back there? Chef Ramsay? Guy Fieri? That's great. I mean, just take a moment to take it all in. The jelly finish, it looking clean. But to let you know, this is like his berserker mode is he starts piecing up these nitwits quick. It done hit a splash every time he punch them. Nah, these boys thought they were doing the jumping just to find out he had the Uno reverse card all along. Bro, it was getting serious out here. Build was actually feeling bad for the villains. Like, yo, bro, chill. He tried to hold man's back and Banjo like, nah, bro, I ain't finished. Oh, nah, Banjo done sidelined the main protagonist. What the heck? Bills don't know what he could do anymore. He was like, hey, bro, just use that one move. Oh, and Banjo done brought out the hokey pokey and started shanking fools. Oh, and this thing could do everything. It can even blast out its own Hadouken. Oh, and with this new form, he was able to make quick work of the trio. That was until that man from earlier steps in. What's he doing here? And why does he have a Kamen Rider drive? Hey, man, what you doing with that?
Now give me my theme music.
I'm gonna come.
Nah, bro, every suit this season is fire. These boys don't miss. This is Kazumi, and he is known as Kamen Rider Grease, and he's here to make our boys question if they are actually the main characters of the show. Is Banjo's like, nah, bro, done stole my whole flow. I just got this power up. He been at it? Banjo done came in swinging, trying to show that man the hands, but man hit him with a parry. Banjo tried to put the hokey pokey right between man's eyes until he caught that ish like, oh, cute toy.
Would you like to see mine?
Oh, and if scratching up my man's paint job wasn't disrespectful enough, my man done bust out that helicopter. Nah, bro, you was already winning blasting them from up high. You didn't have to add in the kick in the chest like that. And just to really show Banjo that this boy was different, he got back on the ground and showed him why he not a real MMA fighter like him. It hit one of the dopest Kamen Rider kicks right into my man's jelly chest. And the only reason our boys made it out of this encounter is because Grease got distracted when Shouty done pulled up. This wasn't a one-off thing because they do end up fighting earlier, and actually our boys get some of their bottles taken, and Shouty pulls up in the car and Grease decides to spare them. And this is where we found out this absolute menace, the boss of the Crow Trio, is actually a simp. Yeah, come to find out that Miss Sora, the girl that's been living with Build since his amnesia and helping them, has a YouTube channel. And our boy Grease is her biggest fan. Nah, I know this boy and Touto from JJK would be the best of friends. But my boy simping aside, it is important for me to preference that Grease isn't really a bad guy. He's just another person on the other side of the war doing what he can and what he thinks is right. As before, he was a farmer before the walls came up and destroyed his crop, and him becoming a Kamen Rider and his trio becoming smashes seemed like the only best option they had to protect everyone they care about. And that's really important to understand of him because of what happens next, as these two groups will constantly keep fighting through this arc. But in one particular fight they had, Stalk comes in doing the most over dramatic slide that I have ever seen and gets everyone's hazard levels. Just think of it as power levels, saying that Grease and Banjo are even more powerful than Builds and them, as Bloodstar starts making a lot of moves, getting Utsumi to take over for Batman and tricking the trio into making themselves stronger so they can go and support their man Grease, turning them into hazard level smashes. And why this is bad and something that Grease would disapprove of is because yes, it does make them stronger. The caveat is, unlike with the rest of the show, when someone gets beat in their transformation, they just de-transform. If these boys are defeated in their hazard smash forms, they will die. But with these guys' new powers, they're even able to take on Build's sparkling form and even Dragon's jelly form. And this is why I said Bloodstalk is planning a lot of this out, because now this is his time to slide into frame. As he helped the trio get more powerful, now he reaches out to Build to make him more powerful to defeat them. Seeing that all these constant loss that he's facing is getting to him, offers him the hazard drive, which rightfully so is very hesitant to use anything Bloodstalk gives him. But after the trio had taken so many of his bottles and defeated him so much, and learning that Banjo's new form is actually wreaking havoc on his body, making him go berserk, when he sees Banjo in danger, he realizes he's kind of out of options and decides it's time to use the hazard drive no matter what the cost.
Someone cooked here.
these boys don't miss is we are introduced to Kamen Rider Build, Black Hazard. And if y'all want to talk about Black Air Force mentality, boy, go ahead and put a Nike check on my man chest, cause he about to be a minute. Nah, they was fighting outside. He done hit them into a whole new venue. Nah, you know he on a type of timing when he come out with that Imp Man roll punch. Kicked one of the other members out of existence, like, who trying to get Isekai next? Oh, the Shield Bros like, yo, come take me on. Okay, bitch. Oh, nah, he done hit man off the smash stage. 2 stalks down and my boy ain't done yet. And if you were wondering yourself that things went a little too smooth, you was right. Boy, Builds and Banjo done finished these guys off so quick they had to start fighting each other. Oh, nah, Kamen Rider on Kamen Rider crime. These boys is trying to be another sadistic. Because as they were fighting, Builds' new Silk pulls a whole Trent Mercer and starts taking control of him. And if any of these shows have taught me, all these suits want to do is hood rat stuff. Oh, no, I'ma tell you now, if I ever see this scene right here with a light hovering over man, he is gone. Like, bro, for real, we talk about a lot of people crashing out on this channel, but I am letting you know, if someone is standing like this, like, nah, it's done with, it's over, we all dying. Nah, bro done gave his heart over to darkness. And right when he get to moving, he dashes over to Banjo and started juggling this man mid-air like he trying to bust out a combo, which he does. Bro gut checked my man in the air and hit the crank that and proceeded to combo my man mid-air, bouncing him off the ground like a heck he say, and hit him with the sparked up kick right to his chest. Oh, no, I ain't gonna lie, if I was Banjo, I don't even know I could F a man no more. Boy really got me out here looking crazy. Oh, and Menace mode wasn't done yet, because soon as he was done taking out his own people, he done slowly broke his neck over to the trio. Oh, no, if I am them and I see this sight in front of me, bro, I'm already started praying. I'm coming to term.
Everything that I've had, praise the Lord.
Cause Bill's done bounced these boys out the building ready to revoke their lease on life. Third one came out of nowhere like, I got you guys.
Denied.
Oh, nah, boy, didn't stand that chance. You are the weakest link, sir. Goodbye. Build put his focus back on Dumber and Dumber and double punched them both in the chest, had them not wanting to be smashes anymore, which leaves Build to grab the third one by the horn. And what is going to proceed next? I want to preference. Remember, this is a show for kids. As Build is just breaking this man apart with his dark aura. I thought man was about to awaken his curse mark. Reese pulls up to the scene like, yo, what is happening to my friends? Man thought he could really save them, but he didn't know.
There's no way out of this.
As Build sends this man to go train with King Kai in the afterlife. But with this, Banjo's in shock, Grease is in shock, the trio's in shock, I'm in shock. Because Build, the kind-hearted scientist that doesn't want to hurt anybody, just killed a man in cold blood in front of his friend. And this menace isn't done yet because he was about to finish the rest of them. Yo, Banjo the hothead even had to step in like, bro, chill. Thank heavens Grease was able to knock some sense into my man. But Grease rushes over to his dying friend, at least being able to be with him in the end. And Sento, now back in control of himself since he's no longer in the Hazard transformation, is in utter shock and disbelief. He became what he despised the most and did the thing he vowed not to do, taking another person's life. And yes, even though this is war and there's casualties in it, it's not the way that Bills wanted to win this war. Feeling like that line has now been crossed. And in this episode in particular, it really takes a serious tone as everyone involved with the incident is taking it in their own way. Banjo feeling guilty because of his new form making him go berserk made Bills want to go into his mode, not wanting to really even fight the trio anymore. The trio wanting to get revenge for their friend, but knowing that's not what their boss and their friend would want. And of course, Bill taking it the hardest, going into a deep depression, even returning to the scene of the incident, crying, throwing up from how sick he feels of it, even being haunted by this man's ghost. And this is kind of highlighting that builds can really tackle some serious things like this, and very well. Reese even shows up while Builds was there and they have an adult conversation about this, cutting all the jokes and keeping it straight serious. Builds asking Grease to punch him, crying and holding the man whose friend he took from him. And Grease even himself says, hey, it's part of war. Things like this happens. I mean, it was getting so bad for Builds, he even went to seek comfort from Bloodstock, because even though they are technically enemies, they still kind of act like they're somewhat of family. Bloodstock telling him straight up like, yo, if you thought no one was gonna die in a war, you were being naive. And after giving my boy a motivational gut check, and in a twist twist that I did not see coming tells Builds, hey, you know what? You and Grease are gonna do a proxy battle to settle this all, and I'm gonna train you, giving Builds back all the bottles that the trio had stole and putting my boy onto a training arc. But after Builds and Banjo going through their arc,
Are you seriously watching porn yourself?
No, I'm with the science team.
and as well as Grease and his boys going through their arc, it is finally time for this proxy battle. And the stakes of this battle is pretty much which sector is going to win the war and the best way to stop the bloodshed. And boy, I know this had to be a pay-per-view event because they done did this fight on the biggest building they could find and had everybody watching. I just know boys was placing bets. And I ain't gonna lie, Bloodstock training was paying off. My boy was done switching forms every 5 seconds. He was really giving the works to Grease. Oh, and that boy Grease was pissed. He knew something suspicious was afoot. Cause he like, yo, how boy get all these bottles we took from him back? Boy looked to the camera like, oh, Bloodstock think he slick with it, huh? And like I said, Bills was feeling himself. He was kept forming on the boy, hit him with all the vortex finishers. He even put Grease on his back. And this is where this boy knew he had a lock in. He started thinking about what his friends had sacrificed, all the people he cared about him, and he started putting in work on Bills. Told Bills straight up, I got a perfect match for you. My fist to your face. Oh, Bills was like, yo, what's going on here? I should be having the advantage. I'm the main character. I didn't went through the training arc. Let me hit him with a vortex finish. Oh, and that was my boy's biggest mistake, because when he hit this man with another finisher, oh, this boy went full crash out mode. Like, this is what I came here to see. Oh, nah, man's about the violence and shenanigans. He's here to party. Boys went kick for kick. Oh, and he had Bills folded. Bills had to start touching his leg. Yo, can I still walk? We thought he was about to be the new Degrassi member. But boy said F all that training arc that he just went through, and he was like, I'm putting on the black Air Forces no matter what. Man picked Grease up and start comboing in midair. Boys was fighting till day till night. Well, the thing that's funny about this mode is that he gets to stay in control for about a couple seconds. But as soon as man slumps over, oh, the suit is in control from there, my friend. And this is where Grease realizes this is no longer a fight, it is a beatdown. Now, Bills done gave man the Happy Meal 6-piece combo with a toy with it. Grease tried to get a top rope thing he can get man by surprise. Bill's like, oh, I gotta change the fit for this one. So stupid ass. Nah, that man busted out the wing, started blasting on boy. Camera couldn't even keep up with the disrespect. Boy got to the frame, the camera caught up, and he done already shot man up to the sky. And nah, bro, when someone take the Vegeta family stance while you in mid-air, your arc is over, my friend. But boy, this suit ain't done until it catch our body. Man done already won the fight, and he was still out here for blood. Was about to stick the hokey pokey right between my man's eyes. That was until my hero appeared. Oh yeah, my boy Banjo here ready to knock some sense in the man. And I ain't gonna lie, it kind of crazy. Banjo was throwing out the best hands I done seen all season on his own man. Man start busting out the liver shot. Oh, but Bills ain't take too kindly to that, because he just started stomping his own man's out. Like, what the butt of my foot tastes like, fool? Now, Banjo was trying his hardest, but I know that chin check had my boy's brain rattling. But he was starting to lose himself to his berserker mode once again, so he had a G-check himself. And once doing that, he was in full control, ready to show Kamen Rider Bills what was up. Now, boys done thought they was really Naruto and Sasuke and hit the dramatic finish on each other. But with that, Bills won and Touto is saved, and they lived happily ever after. Yeah, right after the battle, Bloodstock reveals that he was actually here to betray Hokuto, as he was working with Saito, and now it's their turn for a proxy battle. And things from here get bad to worse, as now there's 2 new Kamen Riders that have kidnapped one of Grease's friends and eventually kill him, having Grease having to go run to Banjo and Builds to help them, and they handled the 2 brothers pretty well. But the thing is, while they were fighting, there is a man slowly walking to where they are. Who could this man be? Well, this is Saito's champion. And there is one theme on my channel that has happened by complete accident, that any character that rocks purple is dang near a violator. You can thank Korag for that one. So when you see this guy finally pull up to the fight and he done rocking a purple Kamen Rider suit, things are about to get serious. The boys are like, yo, he really think he can take on both of us at the same time. Ah, ha, 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 ha. And they decide they're gonna jump him together. And boy, what in the Seven Realms am I seeing? Is this man hitting the Frieza pose on him? Man is opening himself up to violence? He is about the action? Oh, nah, fam, I don't like where this is going. Now, boys try to mess up the paint job and he had them regurgitating dinner up. Build's like, oh, maybe you're not hitting him hard enough. Let me try. Nah, man really has these boys flowing in the wind like some tumbleweeds, and he hasn't even moved an inch. And nah, this who gotta be for oral farmers only or something, because he done introduced Banjo to the ground, and New Man wasn't gonna get up anytime soon, and he just put the magazine into the blicky and was about to send man to see his dead girlfriend. And bro, I thought I knew who was under the mask because boy was disrespect levels was a little too high. And the next thing I saw him do was the Booker T scissor kick. Boy said interior crocodile alligator. It gotta be King Booker under there or something. But to my surprise, it was not Booker T. It was actually someone I was even expecting less.
また会えたな、桂木。
Oh yeah, that's right. Batman is back and he has a brand new form. This one being called Kamen Rider Rogue. And I ain't gonna lie, he looked tough. So we find out that this man has been seeking more power so he is able to defeat all of his enemies. And this boy's training arc was so intense, from ghoulish training to straight up torture. It even got its own miniseries. All that to become this new Kamen Rider Rogue. If you're someone thinking like, oh, he lucky Grease didn't pull up or Bills didn't have his hazard form, I'm here to tell you that he beat all three of them together in the next episode effortlessly, and even sent Bill's hazard mode flying straight into the wall and still posed on him. And boy, I'm telling you now, the only reason our three boys even made it out of there is because Shouty done pulled some AUX Machina and then shot man over the wall. Boy, that plot armor is strong. Nah, I ain't know Shouty had a dog in her like that. But all she says as she passes out after doing this feat is saying a name. That name being Evolt. And that name won't mean much to you now, but when I make my last and final video, it will all make sense. So make sure you like and subscribe until then. But we got one last fight that we need to cover before we end the video. So after all this, Sato's Prime Minister decides that him and Touto are gonna have a proxy battle. Instead of the 1v1 that we had with Kamen Rider builds in Greece, this will be a 3v3 tournament style. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, Grease is part of the official team now. He gets to simp on Shouty all he wants. But with him and Touto now, he actually goes and defeats one of the brothers and gets revenge for all of his fallen friends. Oh boy, Banjo went up next and he actually fought the brothers combined, but this wasn't much to talk about because Banjo done threw the match, as the brothers tricked him saying that there was a third one and he fell for a hook, line, and sinker. Which brings us to the main event. Kamen Rider Rogue versus Kamen Rider Builds. Like my boy Bill's been building up all arc for this moment. I know he about to cook, and why is he in his sparkling form? Boy hit that funky buster so hard until my man's chest had him bouncing off the rope. Like bro, you knew what was gonna happen. He already done beat you in this form and your hazard. You gotta step your game up, because unbeknownst to us, my boy had a plan, as he has actually unlocked the full potential of hazard mode, being able to stay in control the whole time. And in the most Sailor Moon card capture Sakura-ish I have ever seen, my man done transformed again, showing us his new form, the Crimson Speed Jumper Rabbit. God, that's a mouthful. Boy, this thing look clean. Boy, it put everybody in shock. Banjo ain't know of this. The dang Prime Minister like, what in the hoppity hop is going on here? And I know little Shotty from The Incredibles probably over here like, no capes, but you can't lie. It looked good. Nah, man really turned into a speedster. Road cannot touch this man. He is bobbing and weaving all over the place. And bro, F a blicky, this boy done brought out a cannon. It looked like one of them Power Ranger finishers what he got equipped with them. And this boy broke stupid as hell because for some reason he thought he could just punch it out of midair. Done had his hand all jacked up like, this is my strong hand. Rogue realized this ain't a battle of hands anymore. He's like, yo, let me pull out my strap. Boy, they went blast for blast, and this is not Dragon Ball Z because it did not end in a beam struggle. That thing got ate up instant. And to finish the match, this boy Bill does the most disrespectful move I could think of. Is he done turned into a Looney Tune, had the foot stop right at this man's face, had it winding up, and straight it obliterated man. But this man Rogue wasn't done yet, because they done had a spy and got the information and knew about this form somehow. And he was slowly able to overcome Build. So Builds had a plan for man and said, hey, I knew you knew that I knew that you knew that I had this form. So I did something that neither one of us knew about and made a whole nother one and busted out the Steel Blue Warrior tank. Bro got the tank shoulder pads and the tank treads as the cape. My boy just, oh, who the fashion director of this show? They just keep busting. And my boy was done with all this shenanigans, ready to put it into this arc for good. Is he done got the cannon and started putting in buckshot, duckshot, buckshot, and and unleash the Oak come in on man, putting an end to the proxy battle, having our boys win and saving the day yet again. Oh, and for some reason, the prime minister that set this whole thing up thought he could trust Bloodstalk even though he already betrayed another prime minister, killing him, doing another face swap, and setting in motion the final phase of his plan. So as you can see, things are effed indeed. Bloodstalk has activated Pandora's box yet again, bringing down the walls, thus summoning Pandora's tower, marking the end of the world, sinking a whole mech army onto the nation. The violator known as Rogue gets his butt whooped by Build so bad he actually becomes part of the team. We learn the charming Mitsurugi has been possessed this whole time by an evil entity known as Evolt, that thing Misora hinted at when her eyes were glowing green, which on the topic she is possessed by the Queen of Mars, and Banjo finds out that he is part alien.
Huh?
Whew. Yeah, a lot's going on right now. So yeah, with all this happening, of course our main trio is gonna break into the tower and face Bloodstalk head on. And boy was just sitting there relaxing, waiting for their arrival, being like, yo, was y'all looking for this right here? Oh, and the boys are ready for that action. They done hit all their audio drops at the same time. I was getting earbang listening to this. Builds and Grease handle the minions while the main character takes on Bloodstalk, I guess. Banjo then came in with a mean right hook, didn't do dang diddly squat with it. Bloodstalk had to show him how it's done and had the boy breathing different. Banjo's like, okay, let me try this again. Psych, backslash, two-piece, face meets knee. I don't know why Banjo done thought he could do this in his base form, bro. You gotta step your game up. He done had to hit the tag out with Grease, and boy did not fare any better as Bloodstalk hit him with the forward down forward. Disrespect is in Bloodstalk's veins because he puts his hands on Pandora's box just to squash this man midair. Oh no, I got a feeling like my boy Grease about to get done dirty this hard, and I don't like it. And after Grease was taken out, the other two then fell shortly after, being overwhelmed by Bloodstalk and his minions. Feeling hopeless, it was time for our boy Banjo to level up. Fam, I didn't think it was even possible for this man to get any cooler, and he still finds way to surprise me as he was able to change his jelly form into cross magma. And this is why I say this man might actually be the main character. He just get all of the sauce. Oh, and Bloodstalk tried to act like he wasn't impressed. Said, hey, yo, minions, get him. This man dismantles these things that were giving Builds and Geese trouble in 2 seconds. Bloodstalk realizes, I'm getting cooked. Oh, and Banjo ran in. Boy was not an MMA fighter no more. He was it man. He was giving nothing but body shots. Had Bloodstalk doing the anime slide back. Oh, and Banjo was trying to end this quick. He got ready for the kick, flew so high, I think he summoned Kinky Dora while he was up there, and came down with the force of a volcano to knock this man on his keister.
He got cooked. Adrian, you didn't go down like that, huh? He got cooked.
Defeating Bloodstalk for now and able to take Pandora's box away from him. But this is where we find out the thing that Bloodstalk really wants is a thing called the Evolt driver. And with this, the entity inside Mitsurugi will be able to unlock its true power once again. So Builds and his team try their best to keep this man away from it. Even Rogue tries to help them out fighting Bloodstalk away. He even dropped the crocodile scissor kick again on Bloodstalk. But while the girls weren't paying attention, Utsumi on the side of Bloodstalk comes in to help and gets the driver from him and throws it to Mans. And what you're about to see next is the birth of a menace.
Shaman D be the shooter, boy.
Yeah, the man we have been building up to all season has finally arrived as Kamen Rider Evolt. And boy, his name might be love spelled backwards, but he don't got love for anybody. Rogue knew he had to try to stop man now, but boy was having to fight this man after images he was moving so fast. And before he even knew what was going on, he was getting hit with the combo. Oh, man was literally in shock. He was seizing up. And even though man was down for the count, Evolt was not done yet. He started cranking that thing up so hard. Man was channeling his inner Gurren Lagann and started winding up a universe in his kick and sent our boy flying out of his transformation. And he was about to end Rogue's whole career right here. But instead, Rogue's father done came in for the block and got cooked instead. This boy Evolt just killed this man's father right in front of him. No, this boy finna be a problem. Oh, and man's reign of terror was just getting started. He was seeking out some problems. He done found Grease and Banjo just having a nice day and said, hey, do you want to see 2% of my power?
No, that's a lot of damn.
And after effortlessly handing their butts on a silver platter, decides, hey, for the fun of it, I'm just gonna put a curse on Sento, taking builds out of commission and leaving Grease and Banjo having to handle the guy who just whooped their butts ago at the start of the episode. And when I tell you these boys was ready for a rematch, they started doing the tag team moves together. They was out here dropping their finishers off rip, but this boy Evolt was not impressed. He done had to tell Banjo to his face like, bro, your power level looking weak, bro. It looking like a 4.7. I'ma need you to do better. And the disrespect, imagine if you're fighting a guy and he's over here power scaling you mid-fight. Oh, I would be pissed. But this boy Evolt done dropped both of these boys out of their form with no problem again. But Banjo, seeing his friend's life at risk and knowing the sacrifices that he has made for his life, decides, F it, I'm going all out, and hits his Magnum form again. But this time he is so pissed, he is just like the Red Hulk, where the more mad he is just becoming hotter and hotter, literally cooking his body alive. And hey, I probably said this a few times, but you can literally see the sparks flying. I truly love the fire effects that this form brings, bro. It looks so dang cool. But with our boy's passion burning hotter than ever, he is actually able to reach hazard level 5. And these boys decide it's time for the clash of finishers. Yeah, my boy Banjo standing 10 toes tall. Let's do it. Oh, look, he even know how to do the force now. He done broke Sento's curse. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. I'm effing with it. Hey, yo, man, what you doing with that driver? That's Evolt. Hey, don't put that on. You don't do that now. And oh no. Oh yes, with Banjo reaching hazard level 5, we find out that this was Evolt's plan all along, for him to be the true body that Evolt goes to, letting him become Evolt Phase 2. And Brodies, I tell you now, if I have to watch Builds kill his best friend and slash maybe lover, I'm gonna lose it. But you know the boys about to get that back in blood. They ain't about to have Evolt have their friend for him, so they decide, hey, let's get all 3 of us and try to take this man on all together. And fam watching, I am going to let you know now, every phase that this man gets, he unlocks a new level of disrespect I did not know was possible. As the trio tries to jump this man, and boy, it looked like kids trying to fight against a T-Rex. They were looking silly out there. There was no hope for them. Bro, it was getting so bad for him, Greason had to pull a Piccolo moment and said, do it now. Oh, but this man pulled out the blicky and popped 2 into my man's face, 1 into my man's knee, and then punted this man for a field goal. Rogue done pulled up like, no, that's my friend. And then he got punted for a field goal. Am I watching Kamen Rider or the NFL? What is going on here? Bills was feeling so desperate, he had to go in menace mode just to go toe-to-toe with this man. The thing is, however, Bills has to turn on and off the switch to become a menace. For Evolt, this switch is always on. But getting overpowered, our team fails as Evolt is able to take his plan to the next step, unlocking the power of Pandora's box and sending the world into disarray, causing mass destruction and having 2 planets about to collide. Yes, we have gone full Secret Wars. This is a crisis level event right now. And things here are looking grim, but it is not over just yet. Our boys still have a chance to fix all this and salvage what they can. So when they see Evolt once again in Banjo's body, they decide to throw hands with this man. But Sento has a plan that he did not discuss with the others, as he really wants his boy back, as he does not have the heart to kill his best friend. Pulls one of the wildest moves that I have seen mid-fight, as he grabs onto Evolt and tells him, hey, you want to see my power level go up? And starts cranking one out in front of man. Evolt had to tell man, we don't be getting down like that on more. Bills grabs onto him and tells him, oh, you're not going anywhere, big fella. You're about to have to watch me finish. Double pause and explodes his load on man. Triple pause. 3 pauses in one video, boy. We are setting records right now. But boy, this explosion was so epic, it done blew a wig onto my boy's head. My boy was walking the white tips like he was Dante. But whatever he did must have worked, because Banjo is back to being his normal selves, and Sento slowly wakes up and it's Evolt. Yeah, when you thought things couldn't get any worse, Evolt was able to take over Sento's body, which I guess was part of his plan, unlocking Evolt Phase 3.
And here we go.
Boy.
That's that real music, man. Come back home.
And I'm gonna go ahead and say this now. I don't know if it's the color palette for this character or how they fuse the elements together, but every form this man gets is just straight fire. I could just tell that they were cranking out toys with this franchise. Oh, but Banjo was not about to let Sento sacrifice himself, so he didn't even hesitate to pull up the Evolt, not even transform. He just ran the hands raw.
Pause.
And immediately gets folded. I can't even lie. But you know, my boy gets right back up, and this show is all about bonds, friendship, bonds of friendship, Kingdom Hearts, heartless nobodies. So you know nothing is stopping our boy Banjo from having another transformation 37 episodes in. Julio dropped the track.
Boy.
Oh yeah, that's tough. But if you think one transformation is enough, he done hit that shit again.
Kill my music!
Bro, go ahead and just tell us we're getting a Banjo spinoff. Boy is really taking up all the screen time. Oh yeah, it's go time, and I think my boy done took a chomp out of the gum suit the way he was swinging these arms. Boy, I could tell Evolt had never been hit like that in his whole lifetime. And the boys wasn't done yet. They said, F everything else, we going straight to the double trio finisher. Oh, and at this time, I'm thinking it's finally over. They finally finishing the man. But something is amiss. This man is not budging, and he ends up redirecting these three to attack right back at him and using that attack to finally reach his full 100% form, that being Evolt Black Hole. And bro, when I tell you, when Ploy was flexing him being at 2% earlier, it was not a flex, it was just stating facts, because him at 100% is a whole different beast, because this man, while all three Kamen Riders are going at him, just unlocks Ultra Instinct. Oh my god, guys, he's the Goku of the Kamen Riders run. Oh, and he has the powers of Black Hole. He is Blackbeard, guys, you need to leave. And luckily they were able to knock Sento out of him and able to retreat for now. But you can see in this situation, our team is literally F. And just to add another twist to this all, when they go and check up on Sento, they find out that Katsurugi has taken back possession of their body. And this ends up becoming a whole problem between Sento and Katsurugi until they can finally agree that Sento is the right person to save the world. And I will say, after this, things just start getting chaotic, so I'm going to try to breeze through it, as our four Kamen Riders have to fight Evolt a couple times, defeating him and then him just getting a new body to possess. His boy is just a groupie going body to body. Shoot, there's a plot of Katsurugi's father coming in where he's a evil Kamen Rider build pretty much. He fights against our group of heroes, then he becomes possessed by Evolt. That evil guy with glasses that helped Evolt becomes a Kamen Rider. Even does the glasses push up even when he's in Kamen Rider form and not wearing them. And I'll say his suit's pretty fly because it kind of looks like that one bat Pokemon off the cover art of Sun and Moon, wings and all. But in all this chaos, our boy Builds finally unlocks his final form. And I'll say this now because I did hear some people say they don't really like this form, and I can kind of understand. I mean, it's a lot busier than other ones, and maybe if you put it in the grand scheme of Build's outfit, it can look a little weird, as it's kind of like what they did with that one Power Ranger that's able to use all the 6 Rangers in one, and he has that big armor piece with all their faces on it. It kind of gives me that kind of vibe. But just like with that suit and this Kamen Rider Build suit, in the context of the show, to me, I think it's fire, for real, and a good way to combinate all the forms into one, kind of like a White Lantern would do, being able to touch the whole color spectrum. And it feels like every fight after this is congratulations, you just unlocked a new toy to sell. And hey, once I get my money up, I'm gonna be buying. I ain't gonna hold you. But with all that out of the way, I think it's time for the final showdown, with our team of 4 Kamen Riders going against Evolt and all of his tricks. And I will say that this finale really reminds me of one of my favorite animes and one of my favorite arcs in the anime, anime being the Beasts of Maze Castle in Yu Yu Hakusho, where you had all 4 protagonists each having to tackle one of the bosses at a time while they climb and fight a guy on each level while Yusuke has to fight the top dog. I mean, you just know what we're about to witness is peak. Oh, you know they're gonna start this right because the first one up to bat is Grease, and he has to go against his 3 dead homies. Nah, this boy Evolt is actually diabolical for doing this. Really put man against the embodiments of his 3 friends. Oh, I hope he get done dirty for real for doing this to Grease. But I guess our boy was waiting for this moment all season, because for the first time since we've seen him, he gets a brand new transformation and boy turns into the Iceman. And while Grease is getting jumped by his dead homies, Rogue is having to team up with Mad Rogue to fight against the Gear Bro. And bro, this is the way you do a finale, because we watch both fights take place simultaneously, cutting back from each one. One moment we're watching the Rogues doing double team combos, the next we're watching Grease handing out ice trays. Come back to the Gearheads, they had to hit the fusion dance just so they could have a chance. But the Rogues was in sync. These boys done summoned a whole shark to take these boys down. That's one down. Cut back to Grease, who's taking on the Code Trio, who's attacking him from every which way, and boy is still standing 10 toes. But who? Why is my boy glowing? Wait a minute. No. Why is he reminiscing about the good times? No, don't do it to my boy Grease, please, no. But sadly, yes, Grease puts all he has to fight against his friends and ends up sacrificing himself for his friends and the one that he loves. And guys, I ain't doing good after watching this episode. I ain't gonna count. We done lost Grease. We find out that Mad Rogue was a cyborg or something. And not even 2 minutes after these guys' death, Evolt just pops up and says,
Yo.
Oh yes, it was pissed. Oh, and the trio got right into it, even though they were already reeling from the last fights. They did not care anymore. But in the process of fighting this man, he is able to become even more stronger. And when the world needed him most, the Vitalator stood up. Oh yeah, Kamen Rider Rogue done heard the people's cries and went on the greatest redemption arc I have ever seen. Boy, he done took boy to Pound Town, had him breathing heavy. Bro, you would think he was an ice agent the way he was putting hands on this alien. This man Rogue was fighting for the people. He put everything he had in one of the cleanest scissor kicks I ever seen, that it would have had Booker T shedding a tear. But sadly, it wasn't enough to take out Evolt. And once I started seeing my boy start twinkling, I started to shed a tear. Now they done took both of my boys out. This is madness. And if losing these 2 wasn't already crazy enough, Banjo, my boy Banjo, once they were able to knock around Evolt a little bit and weaken him and get this whole world colliding thing under somewhat control, hits the old reach around the builds, unmorphing him, and then going to grab Evolt and doing the ultimate sacrifice by shooting this man up to the sky to take out both of them. Bro, at this moment, am I watching the finale to Gurren Lagann? Why is everyone dying? I cannot take this emotional damage. But Bills is not about to let his bestie go in it alone, and that boy rockets right up with him. And luckily, he finds Banjo, but boy is acting a little different. Yes, Evolt had absorbed Banjo as well, and he only needed Sento left so he can unlock the full potential of his drive. But lucky for Sento, Banjo pulls a full greed from Full Metal and starts eating this man in the inside, start giving him a little cramp. But our boy Sento, knowing the fate of the worlds is on this and having his friends in spirit behind him, this man starts going crazy. He went down the full menu of every mode he's had in the series. Boy was talking to him like he was Majin Buu and he was Goku. Busted out the rabbit off rip, started hit him with the fury of attack. Pulled the rabbit out the hat, realized it was a tank. Oh no, my boy just switched modes again and started grinding on man's face. Nah, Evo blinked for a second and realized man was already in his sparkling form. Had boy ready to be sipping on that bubbly when he had his foot in his mouth. Oh, and then man pulled out the blicky, started having pieces falling off this man. They say Evo no boy was down to just rabbit tank form because he wasn't even worth seeing the drip anymore. Boy done loaded up that cannon and hit man up sideways with that thing, and my boy was like, yo, we got one more toy to sell, as he done fused his rabbit with Banjo's dragon and made a new form to end this man for good, hitting my man with a dynamic finish so hard that it done shook the galaxy. But even though builds defeated him, the two worlds end up colliding. And this is where I was kind of feeling a little sad, like, yeah, we beat the bad guy, right? But we lost kind of everybody that we really enjoyed and care about on the way. That kind of sucked, right? But the next thing we know, Sento wakes up in a field, realizing there's no walls up. He starts walking around and everyone just seems to be normal, like the worlds colliding never happened. And that's kind of why I kind of referenced Secret Wars and Crisis event, because it did bring these worlds together and created a whole new life for the character. And in this world, every character that we have grown in love with is alive and back. And I mean, everyone's here. Grease is still alive with his friends. Our two lovable coffee shop servers are not possessed by alien Martians. The rogues are doing good. And even Banjo is here too. Thank God. But it's when Sento goes to approach him that we find out that this Banjo doesn't know who he is at all. And actually, none of the characters do. Yeah, Sento is left alone, being the only person knowing of the past life that they all lived, which does feel like a bittersweet ending until oh yeah, boy, that's a crazy reveal. Let's go. Yes, Banjo that we know is actually still around and he remembers everything too, being two different versions on him on one planet. And it ends just the same way we started this series, with Banjo hopping on Sento's bike and together they ride off into the sunset to start another journey, saving the day yet again.
天才物理学者桐生セントがいるトートの町でスマッシュと呼ばれる謎の怪人が市民を脅かしていた。そこに現れたのが我らがヒーロー仮面ライダー。
But before you go, I did want to tell you something. Of course, like and subscribe, boy. And I think you can even hype too now. But I do want to say, keep your eyes out, because I will have a follow-up video to all of this, talking about my thoughts about Kamen Rider builds and my Kamen Rider journey so far, since it's something I only started because of y'all in the community wanting me to talk about it so much. So thank you for that, and thank you if you watch all 3 parts to this Kamen Rider build journey. This is my first time doing something like this, and I think I had so much fun with it, and I can't wait to do it some more and try new content with Kamen Rider. If you haven't seen the other parts, you can definitely click them right here. And the other link is something that YouTube thinks you would like, or my follow-up video talking about what I thought about this series. But until next time, what's poppin'? It's Shaman. Peace.